Manchester United deserve to beat Arsenal. No question about that. But we lost. Cunha and Mbeumo were so bright on their Old Trafford debuts. But we lost. Now let's run through what we learned watching United's 1-0 defeat to Arsenal. We'll speak about Bayern. We'll speak about United's overall performance, the massive positives we can take from it, the concerns we still have, and Amorim's passionate defence of his players in his post-match press conference. Let's get on with it. And as always, because we cover everything United here on United People's TV every single day. Right then, first game of the season is done, and it's frustrating. Yeah, it's damn frustrating. But I'm telling you what, I'm feeling positive after that game against Arsenal. If we play like that, we're going to be fine in the Premier League this season. I'm going to run through all of what we learned from that game, speaking about Bayern, speaking about Ligt, speaking about United's attack, Cunha. You can let me know what you think in the comments below, but let's dive straight into it. And the first thing on my list, as I said, we're going to be fine this season if that is how Manchester United play, and it's exactly what Ruben Amorim said after the game.
It was a very good performance. I'm really proud of the players, but in the end we lost the game. But for me, again, you can win, you can lose, but in the end to be proud of what they did, my players, I think it's a good feeling, but at the same time it's really hard to lose.
We didn't have a good feeling last season, let's be totally honest. But that definitely is the main takeaway. If United play like we did in that game against Arsenal, we do it against Fulham and Burnley and Sunderland and Leeds and every other team in the Premier League this season, we're going to be totally fine. We should have won that game. Did United need to be better in front of goal? Yes. Did we create plenty? Yes. Did Bayern flap it into his own net? Yes. We'll improve in those areas, I suppose. But given what I suppose the expectations were going into that game, I think we delivered on them in terms of the performance. And Cunha especially did. And I'm telling you, man, like you can just see from that game straight away, Cunha's got the X factor. Cunha, when it comes to being a Manchester United player, you have to accept a few things. You have to accept that you're probably going to be hated by 80% of football fans in the country. A little bit less than that. How many? Anyway, by the majority. You're going to have to deal with that pressure. People want you to fail. But he went to Old Trafford yesterday and he was like, yeah, man, this is for me. And it was this run here that was the one. Receiving the ball with his back to Arsenal's goal, 20 yards away from his own box. And he turned, faced, ran straight through 5 players and got a shot off. It was just, I'm just going to do it all myself. The sort of attitude that stars have at Old Trafford. And Cunha and Mbeumo both played like that against Arsenal. I think you see the Premier League experience. I think you see that they're ready to take on the extra responsibility and pressure of being Manchester United players. They were definitely the 2 most exciting players from that game. But they weren't the only ones. However, you can't help but have a conversation here about Bayern and about Manchester United's goalkeepers, because I think they both need to be replaced. And this is not a knee-jerk reaction, people. Bayern was on my sell list this summer. Bayern was on my sell list last season, and so was Onana. It's just a continuation of the problems that we saw. All right, he flapped at this ball. Was he nudged in the side by Saliba? Yep, but I actually think the foul on Mount was more of a foul than it was on Bayern, right? Speaking after the game, Ruben, he gave a little staunch defence of Bayern, calling out Samuel Luckhurst here. Don't need to play the whole clip. I can just explain it to you. Calling out Samuel Luckhurst, he was like, well, would you not have been better to put Tom Heaton in goal? Because, you know, he made that mistake last season against Spurs. And he just defended his player. However, he did say this after, and this is exactly what it needs to be, man. Right? Sure, Saliba didn't play the ball. But we need to be stronger. We are not changing the rules. We have to adapt to the rules. AKA, players are going to be allowed to lean into you. Expect it. Change your stance. Know that it's coming. Be proactive instead of reactive. And that's just unfortunately not what he did in this situation. Saliba leaned in on him and he then couldn't reach. It's happened in loads of games before. Now, Man United, I don't know how he managed to do this really. We've just got 2 goalkeepers here. No fans have got any confidence in him. I don't think the players do too. And I actually think Bayern's distribution, I'll speak about that next, by the way, when I'm speaking about Ligt also, was pretty good against Arsenal. But none of that really matters unless you can do the fundamentals of the goalkeeper. Being good at distribution is a luxury. It's probably like a necessary luxury for modern goalkeepers. But it's a luxury. Ultimately, you want them to stop goals from going in, to be able to command their box from corners. Neither of these two fill me with enough confidence. I would like both replaced. I don't think Onana's going anywhere this summer, so I think what United can do and should do is move Bayindir on and probably get another number 2 in to challenge with Onana, and then, of course, the next season we move Onana on. That's what I think. But anyway, somebody who played well against Arsenal I think deserves praise is Ligt. I actually think he was pretty damn impressive. And not just because of how he played up against Gyökeres, but I think he really did well. It was a physical battle. Gyökeres strikes me as a player who, it kind of looks like Xerxes when he came in. Bit heavy, taken a while to get used to the Premier League. Anyway, I'm fine with Šeško. Thank you very much. But Ligt, there was one moment I want to pull out, and it's this moment here, right? This has been a problem for United under Ruben Amorim for a long time. There's a goalkeeper there, and you can see Casemiro's here, and Ligt is here, right? So Ligt's moved forward into that central role. It's kind of what Amorim wants. He wants, there's Shaw over there, and is that Dorga over there? No, that's Yoro over there. So that's his 2 wide centre-backs. The other centre-back pushing up into midfield to make 2 in midfield, right? He did that well. And in this situation, this is what I mean about some of the good distribution from Bayindir. Bayindir spotted Bruno here and went for that pass. The dangerous pass through to Bruno, right? Found him. Bruno turned. And you can see from this situation, Bruno is on the ball, sees the run from Mbeumo, and just fires in a really nice ball over the top there. Really good central progression through the middle. And Mbeumo touches it down here. Lovely little layoff. Cunha runs straight onto it. Manchester United have a goal-scoring chance. You can see the time on the clock there. Within 12 seconds from the goalkeeper. We're on the edge of the opposition's box. Central progression through the middle. Ligt helped that. I think Ligt, and that some of the bounce passes he played quite well. Now, bounce passes kind of sometimes when the central centre-back receives the ball in this position, right? And he's actually getting pressed down. Sometimes the ball came from Bayindir, and without touching it, he bounced it out here. And that opens up a lane. Obviously, in that situation, he couldn't do it. But I actually think Ligt really deserves some praise for how he played. And also, the final point I want to make is about Šeško, because we need Šeško leading the attack. It comes as no surprise to know this, right? But as good as we were, we did miss the presence of having a centre forward. We really, really did. Amorim's system at its peak at Sporting was geared around the centre forward. And Amorim's system at United, when it's at its peak, will be geared around Šeško and the attacking movements that everybody does, not just to accommodate, but to work with and complement the centre forward. We're playing with Cunha up there, playing deeper, let him do the runs from deep. Playing with Mount up there, but then we've got no presence in the box. Šeško, looking forward to seeing him fit enough to start. But I'll go back to it and I will say this again. Largely, that was a very positive game against Arsenal. The fact we came away with no points is dead frustrating. Bayindir needs to be moved on. I love the look of Cunha and Mbeumo too. If we play like that for the rest of the season, we're going to be totally fine. And that's exciting, if you ask me.